A very good morning to all our Sports Today family members this Monday. We all thought Super Sunday would have given us something, but unfortunately on Sunday, the rain played spoil sport in Kingsmead, Durban. And because of that, we had absolutely no action, so much so that not even a toss was possible. That's why we are heading into Kepaherha on the 12th, but unfortunately even there the weather is not going to be good. So far we have had a damp squib of a start in India's tour of South Africa. Remember, after the T20Is, you've got 3 ODIs and then you've got 2 tests. But it is on the sidelines of the Kingsmead T20I where there has been a very interesting development when it comes to one Indian pacer. Most likely he is ruled out, and in all probability he could feature in just 1 or 2 ODIs that is there in the tour of South Africa for India. Now, who is that Indian pacer who is ruled out of the T20Is and is slightly doubtful for most of the ODI series? It's Deepak Chahar. Deepak Chahar is now in doubt for the remainder of the T20I series as well as for the first 2 ODIs as well, because you all know that in the 5th over T20I that was going to be played, he had to rush back home because of a family emergency. Unfortunately, his father is not well, and according to the management, many believe that Deepak Chahar might not be able to come back. He may not be in the right frame of mind to ensure that he gets back into competitive match fitness. And because of that, Deepak Chahar might miss the entire T20I series as well as the ODIs, couple of them at least. Remember, Chahar is not there in the tests as well. So that's why missing a bulk of the South Africa series could prove to be harmful for his chances. But then it is understandable why Deepak Chahar cannot come. It's a family emergency, especially his father who's not well. Our thoughts are still with Deepak Chahar. We wish his family, his father, a speedy recovery. We wish that they have the strength to cope up with all the tough times that's there. Deepak Chahar, for him, family is always first. For all of us, family is first. Cricket is later. So that's why Deepak Chahar stays strong. We hope that his father recovers, and also may his family have the strength to cope up with it. So Deepak Chahar in all certainty seems to be missing the T20Is altogether, and maybe even for 1 or 2 ODIs he may not be available. West Indies are currently on a high because they have achieved a series win against England in the Caribbean after 25 years. But on the sidelines of it, Nicholas Pooran and Jason Holder, these are 2 of the big names who have declined the West Indies central contract. Now, this continues the trend wherein many of West Indies cricketers have refused the central contract in order to pursue freelance T20 gigs all over the globe. Remember, Andre Russell has been called back in after 2 years in the T20I setup, but Jason Holder kind of had a rather struggling time in the ODIs as well, but he did well in the series against England. Nicholas Pooran also. So Pooran and Jason Holder have declined central contracts for the West Indies, and now it remains to be seen how and where the Windies Cricket Board can actually get some good players in for a full-time central contract. Who will succeed David Warner? That is the biggest question that Cricket Australia is coping up, and all over Australian cricketing circles are trying to figure out. There are 6 potential contenders. Narrow it down to 4. There is Matt Renshaw, there is also Cameron Bancroft, and there is Marcus Harris if you have to look at it, and there are several other players. Now, Matt Renshaw played well in the PM's 11 game against Pakistan, but unfortunately he wouldn't get to audition it a bit more because the final day was washed out. The selectors though are of the firm opinion that maybe we may not need to blood in anybody new. Let Cameron Green open. Cameron Green as a potential full-time opener after the end of the Pakistan series. Maybe that might be something very interesting that we have to look up to. So, Cameron Green potentially as a full-time opener, and then maybe Marcus Harris, Matt Renshaw as the backup, or maybe Cameron Bancroft as the backup. Ricky Ponting has thrown in his weight that Cameron Bancroft is probably the ideal candidate. Usman Khawaja also, 1-2 years more he might play on, but we don't know at this point. So, lot of questions hang over David Warner's successor, who it will be. So, remember, if he goes, there is a massive void that Australia will have to fill, by the way. It's summertime in Australia, and unlike South Africa, where there is a bit of a damn squib at this point in time, there is not so much of trouble at the West Test build-up. Remember, Perth, first test at the Optus Stadium, it's been dubbed as the West Test, And Pat Cummins, you can see, along with Josh Hazelwood, Mitchell Marsh, and I think this is Alex Carey, they're all having a barbecue at Perth. So that's why Australia are having a rather chilled build-up, rather also intense build-up, intense and chilled build-up for the Pakistan Test match. And remember, Optus Stadium, most of the guys will be determined to ensure that Australia continue their winning momentum against Pakistan. Remember, Pakistan have not won a test in Australia for the last 28 years. And because of that, now they will be determined to ensure that they put on a good show indeed. Talking about the world of other sports, there was some very, very good news for the pair of Tanisha Kristo and Ashwini Ponnappa, because they have won the Super 100 tournament in Guwahati. It was only the second tournament win that they have had this year. Abu Dhabi Super 100, they had won that also. Now they have registered yet another title win. They had also reached the final of the Syed Modi tournament. But remember, throughout in this entire phase, Ashwini Ponnappa and Tanisha Kristo have struggled. And remember, in women's doubles, mixed doubles, India have a very weak opening in this. But Ashwini Ponnappa and Tanisha Kristo's success towards the fag end of 2023 gives the Indian badminton contingent some hope. Santos. Now remember what has happened to Santos FC. Remember, they were relegated for the very first time in their 100 plus year history. And because of this, they have made a dramatic decision. The Santos club president has stated that unless we don't get back into the top tier, no one will wear the number 10 jersey. Because they believe that if they wear the number 10 jersey when they are relegated, it is an insult to Pele's memory. Every match where they played, in the 10th minute, there was a celebration. It was a tribute to Pele, the greatest footballer who that ever was. And because of that, the Santos club president has stated, we know no player will ever wear the number 10 jersey unless they are promoted back into the top tier. So that's a big, big decision that they have taken in order to honor Pele's greatness in that sense. So, lot of interesting cricket coming up in the next couple of days. Remember, India versus South Africa at Gepahera on the 12th. Australia versus Pakistan at the Optus Stadium in Perth. It will be very, very interesting to see how both the teams shape up. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we are on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.